It's Wednesday at 6 p.m., and you know what that means. It's time for ELN Radio. Here are the top stories we are following today.
U.S. Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel announced this morning that the Pentagon made a deal with a private foundation to make sure that the families of fallen troops are paid survivor benefits during the shutdown. The payments will be made by the Fisher House Foundation, a group that helps families of soldiers in need. Survivor benefits usually include a $100,000 payment and a stipend for funeral and burial services. Hagel also said that the Fisher House Foundation will be reimbursed after the shutdown is over.
This afternoon, President Barack Obama nominated Janet Yellen to serve as the next chair of the Federal Reserve. She currently serves as the vice president of the Federal Reserve and has similar views to the current chairman, Ben Bernanke. If she's confirmed by the Senate, she will be the first woman to hold the post.
Human rights lawyers filed a lawsuit against the United Nations for allegedly bringing cholera to Haiti in 2010. The disease, which is not native to Haiti, killed an estimated 8,300 people. Earlier this year, Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said that the United Nations could not receive claims for compensation from Haitian cholera victims because they had legal immunity. Haiti continues to battle cholera. According to the World Health Organization, at least 182 Haitians died due to the disease between April and August of this year. It's Wednesday at 6 o'clock. That means it's time for ELN Radio on 89.3 WSOE. I'm John Bowden.
And I'm Bella Mazzola. Here's what's coming up today on the show.
Construction is far from over on Elon's campus. We'll tell you what to look out for after fall break.
The shutdown may be halting government-funded research, but that's not stopping one Elon student.
And if you're staying on campus this weekend, we've got tips for fall fun in the area. All that and more coming up on ELN Radio.
It's day 9 of the federal government shutdown, but there's a new deadline coming up. To avoid default, Congress needs to vote whether to raise the debt ceiling by October 17th. The House GOP says it won't raise the debt ceiling unless President Obama is willing to negotiate on Obamacare and other spending cuts, while the White House and Senate Democrats say they won't negotiate with the U.S.'s credit on the line.
If the federal government defaults next week, the U.S.'s credit score will be downgraded, which could cause major damage to the economy. Stick with Elon Local News for more as this story continues to develop. And closer to Elon, some members of Elon's community are feeling the effects. Our Eric Halperin has the story.
Our area here, the Piedmont Triad
Now on
area,
its 8th day, the government shutdown is affecting more than just adults. College students are also seeing changes. First, the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights has stopped investigating all cases of university mismanagement of sexual violence cases on their campuses. This includes cases like the ones at UNC Chapel Hill locally and University of Virginia. Next, the 5 military service academies are being hit hard, with the Merchant Marine Academy sending home thousands of midshipmen. Classes have also been canceled at both the Naval and Air Force Academy. In addition, research funding has stalled, and all work deemed non-essential has been halted at public universities. Students and professors doing research in federal buildings are also temporarily unable to access their work. If you're looking to do research in a library instead, many federal sources of information are not being updated during the shutdown. The Library of Congress, the Smithsonian, and the National Archives in D.C. are all closed. For soldiers returning home and enrolled in college, the main hotline number to answer student veterans' questions is down, and career counseling for these students is also limited.
We apologize for the brief technical interruption. That was our own Katie Merrigy, not Eric Halperin. Students and professors doing research in federal buildings are also temporarily unable to access their work. The Library of Congress, the Smithsonian, and the National Archives in Washington, D.C. are all closed. And if you're trying to do research in a library instead, many federal sources of information are not being updated during the shutdown.
But college students may see even more effects of the shutdown. The U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights has stopped investigating all cases of university management of sexual violence cases on their campuses. This includes cases like the ones at UNC Chapel Hill locally and University of Virginia.
The shutdown's effects stretch beyond the Elon bubble into the Burlington community. If it continues, there could be long-term effects on where some North Carolinians get their food. Our Alex Rose spoke with a nonprofit less than 30 minutes from Elon's campus that is preparing for what could happen if the shutdown continues.
Our area here, the Piedmont Triad area, ranks number 4 nationally in terms of metropolitan areas facing food insecurity.
Greensboro Urban Ministry is a nonprofit that provides food for people in the Triad. Right now, the ministry serves an average of 430 meals per day, but if federal funding runs out, the organization believes the demand could increase up to 20 times that amount.
Very simply put, there is no way we can increase our services at that amount.
Even though nonprofits help people in the community, the government plays a bigger role.
Out of 24 bags of groceries that might be given to people in need, only one of those bags is provided by a nonprofit agency.
The other 23 bags are provided by federal funding. Women, Infants, and Children, more commonly known as WIC, is one program that will be affected if the government shutdown continues. That means less food options for some people in North Carolina.
To be frank with it, pisses me off. I mean, I hate to use them type of words, but, I mean, the people out here shouldn't have to suffer for what the government is doing.
If the government remains shut down, local Burlington residents like Nikki Darman are worried the food banks won't be enough. Her 19-year-old daughter is a member of WIC and has 2 infant children.
I mean, you got to find some kind of way of feeding your child. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what people are result to.
Greensboro Urban Ministries has already received calls from concerned mothers on WIC who are worried their vouchers will not come next month if the government remains shut down.
The Women, Infants, and Children's Nutrition Program was cut this weekend. The vouchers that have already been picked up will work through October, but will end in November. Now let's look at how the shutdown is already affecting the Tar Heel State. 336 North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services workers are currently furloughed, and up to 45,000 could eventually be affected. The DHHS did issue a statement saying food stamps will be still distributed through the month of October.
The effects don't end there. According to the executive director of the Great Smoky Mountains Association, North Carolina and Tennessee are losing roughly $3,500 in sales tax revenue every day while the Great Smoky National Park is closed.
Coming up with fall only a few days away, we've got tips on where to fill up your tank if you're making a drive.
And we've got updates on Elon's latest construction projects. Stick with us right here on WSOE 89.3. Welcome back to ELN Radio on 89.3 WSOE. Here's what's happening around campus this week. Fall break begins this Friday, and as you get ready to fill up your tank, here's what you can expect at the pump. You have 2 options for the cheapest gas in town. Head on over to the Citgo or Shell stations on Church Street to fill up for $3.17 a gallon. If you want the closest option, the Kangaroo on Haggard doesn't cost too much more at $3.24. Gas prices in Elon cost less than the average across North Carolina of $3.26.
Now, you might be able to fill up your car now, but you might not have a spot to park it when you come back from fall break. Starting in less than 2 weeks, new changes are coming to the Mosley Center parking lot. It will be home to the future Inman Admissions Welcome Center. Director of Construction Management Brad Moore says Elon will start fencing the area during fall break.
Construction will begin on October 18th and can last up to 14 months. If you live nearby the construction site, don't worry. Workers will only be there from 7 in the morning to 7 at night to reduce the noise. There will be a new lot built north of the admission center to replace this one. It will hold up about 50 parking spaces for visitors and 20 for students.
Moore says we can definitely expect this current space to look different. There will be a new green lawn and a new walking path that will connect Young Commons to KOBC.
Campus security will be in charge of where students will be able to park during the construction process. We called them to ask about their plans, but haven't heard back from them yet. You can be sure we'll keep you updated as we find out more.
When Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak spoke at Convocation last week, he talked about his involvement in starting up the technology giant Apple. If you are interested in starting your own business, here are some tips. First, be patient and prepared to get a little frustrated. It can take months to get your business properly registered and off the ground.
And before you put in the effort, make sure to talk out your business idea with close friends and family to get some feedback. If your idea is a good one, these people will be your first investors. And remember, make sure your idea is unique. The biggest mistake many entrepreneurs make is creating a business that has already been done. So make sure you do your research beforehand.
Another big tip for starting your own business is to explore the industry you want to be in. Make sure you understand exactly what you're getting yourself into and get as many perspectives on the industry as possible.
The next step is taking advantage of what's available at Elon. The Doherty School of Entrepreneurial Leadership in KOBC is a great place to start. They offer walk-in sessions where professionals will critique your business ideas. When the moment comes to execute your business plan, websites like LegalZoom and bizfilling.com will supply you with an easy-to-follow application process.
Last week, we told you Colonnade's Dining Hall received a health score rating of 95 following a re-inspection from their 82. We now know the reasons behind the 95. According to the health inspector, an employee was wearing gloves when he or she wiped their nose with the back of their hand and then proceeded to handle bananas. The dining hall was also docked points for having clean utensils stacked with other forks, spoons, and knives that may not have been cleaned. At last week's SGA meeting, Aramark told students they have nothing to worry about and the dining halls are safe.
Coming up after the break, you'll meet some Elon students making a big impact on our campus. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to ELN Radio. Many students complete research during their time at Elon, but the experience can be expensive, leading to some students to look for funding opportunities. 15 students from the class of 2014 were awarded the Lumen Prize, a $15,000 scholarship that helps fund academic research. For one recipient, the money is more than just an opportunity to pursue undergraduate research. It's a chance to save lives.
Growing up, I saw my grandmother slowly succumb to Parkinson's disease.
Senior Andrew Fisher says when his grandmother started getting sick, it was hard to watch her struggle.
She first had to get a cane to help walk around. Then she got to a point where she wasn't able to drive anymore, and then got to a point where she wasn't able to walk anymore, and now she's in a chair.
That's when Fisher decided to help. He applied for the Lumen Prize his sophomore year to research how to fight the disease that hurt his family.
So coming into college, I was focused on that because I really wanted to make a difference in hers and others' lives.
His research looks at the clumping of proteins in Parkinson's, which is a factor that causes the disease. Along with the loss of physical functions, people with Parkinson's can lose their speech abilities and show signs of dementia.
I'm sure it's very frustrating to have your ability to move around and live be taken away from you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
He hopes his research will achieve the ultimate goal, a cure for Parkinson's.
I think there's lots of research, but what the field needs is some more creative angles to look at the disease, a real breakthrough to happen.
Fisher says the research isn't always easy, but his grandmother's strength keeps him motivated.
Research is always an uphill battle, and sometimes you run into different obstacles that make you think like, oh, I'm never going to come to a conclusion, or this is never going to work out. But kind of taking a page out of her book, in the face of things that seem difficult, she always keeps fighting, and that's something I try to do in my life as well.
That was our own Brennan McDavid with that report. Fisher says his dream is to practice medicine, and he hopes to continue his research after graduation.
For other students on campus, coming to Elon is the opportunity to start a new life. Our Elizabeth Cantliner found one Elon student who left a job with a powerful leader in a search of higher education.
I took English classes when I was in 6th grade, and by the time I graduated high school, and I was like, I'm ready, I should go.
Senior Tuliali Fazli always knew he wanted to study in the United States, but his family struggled financially in his home country of Afghanistan.
Not only me, majority of Afghans had, but we came out of the Civil War and out of the war actually, and then most of families had lost everything that they had, but everyone had some kind of financial problems.
To support his family, Fazli found work with a well-known Afghan.
I found a job with Office of the President of Afghanistan, and I worked for President of Afghanistan directly as a scheduler.
His main duty was scheduling President Hamid Karzai's everyday activities.
Handling his daily activities and who he meets, where he goes, what he does, and what time he gets off or free time to rest.
Fazli says people are usually surprised when they hear about his old job.
It was a job I did, and I have been told by my friends or by people that I tell them that I worked for Office of the President, and they tell me, like, why you would say that very casually.
The experience of working with President Karzai helped Fazli decide what he wants to do with his life. He's an international studies major and hopes to bring what he learns at Elon back to Afghanistan.
Everyone has a goal, but how you get to your goal, that's a different story. But my goal or my plans are to go back home and to work for people back there.
Elizabeth Caitliner, Elon Local News.
Fazli says though he's not sure where he'll work when he returns to Afghanistan, he plans to bring the same humble attitude to his next job.
Coming up after the break, find out how Elon students are using campus resources to work on their careers. Stick with us right here on WSOE.
Welcome back to ELN on WSOE. More Elon students are working on their futures. Our Tess McCurdy found one student who turned the gym into an office.
So I'm always in the trainer's room, I'm always in physical therapy, I'm always surrounded by people in fitness. They seem to love their job, they're passionate about it. I realized it was something I wanted to do, something I wanted to study.
Elon sophomore Andrew Mitchell is a certified personal trainer of the American Council on Exercise. He recently founded AM Fitness, his own personal training business.
September rolls around and all of a sudden I get on my page and there's over 5,000 people viewing my page and liking it. So it's all happened really quick.
Mitchell uses Facebook to stay in touch with his clients, both back at home in Cincinnati and here at Elon. He posts his signature workouts, inspirational quotes, and tips for staying in shape.
Anyone can work out, anyone can be fit, anyone can do an exercise and get good at it. But it takes real dedication and real discipline to motivate yourself.
Mitchell is a firm believer that a good workout can be done in just a few minutes.
10 minutes a day. So an hour and 10 minutes of a week out of 168 hours you can spend, benefiting yourself.
To prove his point, he showed me some of his favorite workouts. The ropes work your core and arms and quickly raise your heart rate.
Just gonna whip your arms straight up and down.
And it wasn't as easy as Mitchell made it look. He also showed me ladders and box jumps. After my workout, Mitchell convinced me that there's no excuse not to exercise.
A quick burst of energy, that's all it really takes to be fit and to just, be healthy and confident.
Tess McCurdy, Elon Local News.
Mitchell hopes to continue expanding his business by studying exercise science and sports and event management here at Elon.
Limelight Records, a student-run music label at Elon, produces students' work and gives members production experience. And now, one student is gaining school-wide recognition for his work. Our Lauren Cook spoke to him about hitting the high notes.
Elon Jr. Dylan Rockwell has always had a passion for music.
My dad just had kind of guitars laying around the house when I was a kid, and I would just, pick them up occasionally and, look up, some, Fall Out Boy song or something.
And now, almost 8 years later, his dream is finally coming true. Rockwell finished his first extended playlist through Limelight Records this year, and he wrote all the music and lyrics himself.
When I listen to music, it's not enough to just hear a song. It's I want it to be mine. It's if I really like a song, it's I want that to be my song. And the only way to get that is to write my own songs.
But Rockwell says it can take him months to finish just one song.
It always has to have something unique that I find unique in it, otherwise I'll just throw it away.
Rockwell's manager Fritz Tully manages the promotion for the EP and has high hopes for the release of his playlist.
It's been awesome working with Dylan. We get along really well, and I think the EP is going to be a real success. It sounds really good.
Rockwell says he hopes to release a second playlist by the end of this year and plans to start a career in music production.
I'd love to be just anywhere on the production side of making music. But that's kind of hard to get an in, so just any entry-level music job, I'll take it.
Lauren Cook, Elon Local News.
Dylan's promotional team is setting up a coffee shop tour to promote his EP. They have released all the tracks on their SoundCloud account as well.
Coming up after the break, looking for locally grown food? Turns out you don't have to travel too far to find it.
Welcome back to ELN Radio. Just 10 minutes from Elon's campus, one farm has been in business for more than 200 years. Our Sky Cowens has the story.
But we're still here, and it's going to be here.
Jane Isley's family has owned Isley Farms for 5 generations.
I've got some great-great-great-great grandparents that are buried here on the farm.
Even though farming has always played a big part in her life, Isley didn't start until she was 34. Before her father died, she learned the skills needed to keep the family business going.
And I can tell you exactly where we were standing. I said, "Okay, Daddy, how do I do this?" And he was standing there at the end of the field with his walker, and he handed me the walker, and he said, "I'll do it."
Isley says that farming has now become a way of life.
You don't do it for quantity of life. You're not going to get rich doing it. But each day is different.
Her hard work on the farm has paid off. Tomorrow, Isley Farms will be named North Carolina's Conservation Farm Family of the Year.
It's the first time Alamance County has ever won one of the awards, so we're really pleased about it.
Isley says one thing that makes her farm stand out is their commitment to the preservation of natural resources. And she's noticed a growing trend of people wanting to buy locally grown food.
And they want to know where their food came from. They want that relationship with the farmers. And so agriculture is very fortunate that that's happened.
Isley Farm might grow strawberries, tobacco, and tomatoes, but for October, it's all about the pumpkin.
The kids come, they're happy. I love to mess with pumpkins because every one of them is different.
Isley says it's things like these pumpkins that keep bringing families in the area together. Sky Cowens, Elon Local News.
Drive down Route 40 on any given Saturday morning to find a man who turned his passion into a business. Our Gary Grumbach has more.
This is the Durham Farmers Market. Walk past vendors selling scarves, soaps, food, and you'll find one person selling something a little different.
Pottery is an empowering thing. It's one of the few crafts where somebody can work independently and still actually make a decent living without overhead, infrastructure, a boss.
Mark Cosma is a potter's apprentice for the Durham-based Irons in the Fire. He sells handmade bowls at the Durham Farmers Market each week, but his pottery is more than just a business.
I've always been one to work with my hands, and I see pottery and woodwork as a way for me to work independently. I like to work by myself, have my own time in the workshop.
Growing up, Cosma's family was in the wood and pottery business. Though Cosma's grandparents were carpenters, he started making pottery in college as a stress reliever, and now he's creating more complex pieces.
I would throw a section of it on the pottery wheel. About the first 6 inches would be one piece of clay, and then I'd make a long coil and attach it to the rim and throw that, and I would do that 5 times until I got this completed shape.
Although his business is doing well, Cosma has other plans for the future.
I would like to go back to academia for a while, give me some time, some breathing room to make art and not think about production and sales and numbers.
But for now, he will keep working at the farmers market. Gary Grumbach, Elon Local News.
And Durham isn't the only place to find interesting and unique works of art. The Elon Farmers Market is held every Thursday afternoon in front of the Elon Community Church.
Coming up after the break, we've got ideas if you're staying at Elon for fall break.
Stick with us. Welcome back to ELN Radio on 89.3 WSOE.
While many students are headed home for fall break, others choose to stay put. But don't worry. If you're staying in the bubble this weekend, there are still plenty of things to do right here in the area. If you're looking to get outdoors, try the Shallow Ford Nature Trail, less than 10 minutes away. Or, if you're willing to trek a little further, try Hanging Rock State Park. It's about an hour and a half west of Elon. Hike all the way to the top for a great view of the changing trees.
And of course, fall means Halloween, and what better way to prepare than to visit a haunted house? You can find some haunted fun not far off campus. Our Matt Lee visited the Haunted Forest Hayride in Gibsonville to kick off the Halloween season.
It may seem like a typical farm during the day, but at night, J. Raz and Taz Farm transforms into a haunted hayride. The hayride started 7 years ago when owner Trey Early wanted to make some extra money.
We've had years that there's been terrible droughts here, and if it wasn't for J-Raz, we would go out of business. So it turned into something as an added thing to our farm to offer to the public.
Early built the hayride and even made more than 95% of the props on the tour himself. Props like this dragon were handmade by the owners and cost him $600 or more to make. If he was in Hollywood, this dragon would have cost a lot more than that. Ready! Now that's scary.
The haunted hayride goes through the farm's woods, but it doesn't have the blood, guts, and gore usually found in a Halloween attraction.
We found out that there really wasn't anything offered that's suitable to take, or I presume suitable, to take a 10-year-old child to for Halloween in this type of activity.
But Early says people can still find something to scream about.
Don't worry about not thinking you won't be scared, because we will scare you. I will promise you, you're going to get scared. But we don't give anybody nightmares.
Early's wife also helps him run the haunted hayride and says she enjoys meeting people from all over the area.
The rest of the day we're alone. We don't see a lot of people, so this is our social interaction for the year. I can't talk much to a tractor, so it's the people. We get to see people have a good time, and it helps end the year for us.
After the Halloween season is over, Early says he will go back to farming and wait until next year when they can host the haunted hayride again. Matt Lee, Elon Local News.
The Haunted Forest Hayride is open Fridays and Saturdays and will continue to run until Thanksgiving.
That's all we have for you on this week's ELN radio show, but you don't have to wait until after fall break to hear all the news from Elon. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and elonlocalnews.com for news throughout the week and during break.
From all of us at ELN and WSOE, have a great fall break, Elon.